All right, today's topic is another boatload of fragrances that are dropping soon. Some have already dropped, some are going to make an appearance very, very soon. And I'm going to tell you all about these 18 fragrances here in the main video. And we've got 4 bonus designer fragrances in the bonus section after the outro. So if you're interested in finding out about these new fragrances, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yes, I'm talking about new fragrances launching soon. Are you guys getting burnt out on all the new fragrances that are coming out? I just got back from visiting 2 different shows in Italy and France. And, I compile these lists together, doing research online. And again, I've noticed that there's a ton of new stuff coming out. So I think we had such a time during COVID when a lot of people got into, fragrances and things like that, and the kind of beauty and perfume industry, numbers really skyrocketed. So that's probably the reason why we're seeing a ton of new stuff always coming out. But I'm always excited, kind of cautious. I've smelled 1 or 2 of these here and there. Most of these I haven't got my nose on, and I'm going to let you know what they are because I am excited to get my nose on these. But the first fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is from the house of Lalique. ENCRE Noir, a brand new flanker, or is it a new series? And also not created by Nathalie Lorson this time. Nathalie Lorson did 4, the feminine version and all of the male versions of ENCRE Noir. And then now we've got ENCRE Indigo. It's created by Annick Menardo, featuring notes of Patchouli, Vetiver, Bay, Ambergris, Saffron, black tea, Bergamot, Juniper, and pink pepper. So this seems like a very different fragrance. I'm just hoping it's not going into the blue direction. I'm hoping it has some interesting things about it. That's one of the reasons what I like about ENCRE Noir. It doesn't smell like every other men's designer fragrance. So I'm hoping this is going to be somewhat unique in comparison to all the other designer fragrances out there. If anybody's got their nose on this one, please do let me know. Put a comment down below. But moving on to Electimuss London, they are now making a fragrance, or have made a fragrance with Cecile Zarokian. It's Vanilla EDESIA. Another vanilla fragrance. So she's done vanilla fragrances here and there for Amouage, and she did one for, Nichane. And then I think she did one for Café Cabanel, which is kind of vanillic gourmand. She's probably done a few others here and there, but now we've got Electimuss London with the Vanilla EDESIA. Are you guys fans of Electimuss London? Do let me know. I am planning on airing a video soon about the house with Joe. If you guys recall, I do some videos, house overview videos with him. So stay tuned for that video. But this one, I'm curious to smell it. It's once again very, very complex and chock full of notes like Cecile's fragrances are. Frankincense, cumin, vanilla, sandalwood, coriander, mandarin, bergamot, cinnamon, patchouli, vetiver, ylang-ylang, heliotrope, pink pepper, rose. A lot of stuff going on. I just hope it smells very unique and different than her Amouage creation and also Annick from Nichane. But if anybody's gotten their nose on it, do let me know. Moving on to Christian Louboutin, who's a fan of this collection. I don't know. I like the collection. It's a bit overpriced. I like the bottles. They're quirky, cute, and a bit goofy, I think. And the names are really goofy. This is LOUBOUTIN Rose, and I believe this is a limited edition release created by Daphne Bouget, and it's May Rose, rose petals, rose, strawberries, cedar, and musk. Let me know if you're a fan of this collection. Let me know if you've gotten your nose on this one. Is it worth getting my nose on it? I never bought the last 2 releases in the collection in the kind of cream-colored, tan-colored bottles. Now we've got this pink bottle with LOUBOUTIN Rose. But moving on to Gucci's Alchemist Garden collection, a new fragrance and not created by Alberto Morillas. Go figure. The new creative director at Gucci has decided to work with other perfumers and not chosen to work with Alberto Morillas for the fragrances. A floral verse is created by Alexandra Monet. I believe she's with Firmenich, where Alberto Morillas works, but definitely not Alberto Morillas here for this, because the rest of the collection, everything else has been created by Alberto Morillas. But this one sounds like a kind of a tea fragrance with white musk, black tea, jasmine, sambac. So somewhat simplistic, but complex when you wear them, because the notes break down that they credit are not necessarily complex, like, for example, Electimuss London, where they've listed like a ton of notes. They've only listed 3 here. I'm curious to get my nose on it, but I heard from a Gucci associate that they might be axing this collection. I don't know how true this is. They thought that it's on the cutting room line or whatever, the floor or whatever. We shall see, but there's definitely something coming out in the collection, and we shall see if it's good or not. If you've gotten your nose on it, do let me know. I don't have a place where I can go smell Gucci Alchemist Garden collection fragrances here in San Francisco. Sadly, they took them out a long time ago, before the pandemic even started. They were already on their way out. It's, I don't know, maybe they're just not as exciting as, you know, let's say Louis Vuitton's collection of upper-end, high-end collection of fragrances. All right, we've got a fragrance from the house of Byredo, once again created by Jérôme Epinay, who creates a lot of the fragrances for Byredo. This time it's called Animalique. I like the name. Is it Animalic? So I got my nose on this really quickly in passing in the city of Cannes when I was there at a perfume shop, and I liked what I smelled. Although to me it didn't smell animalic, so maybe it develops on and becomes animalic, but the name is kind of exciting for me. And it's typical of Byredo. It has their DNA signature and things like that. So I like their fragrances. I just want them to be a bit more robust and beefy, but they're definitely not. But this one has notes of suede, amber, tobacco leaves, violets, mimosa, bergamot, and lemons. Violet leaves do come up quite a bit for Byredo. It's kind of their trademark, I think. And I do enjoy it. I've gotten to enjoy violet a lot more than I used to when I first got into the game. So I think maybe Byredo helped me along. But I liked Animalique. I want to visit it again and see how it is. And I love the name too, so we shall see. But moving on to the house of Costume National, it's Paper Plane. Who's a fan of this house? So from the grapevine, I have heard that they're going to make an appearance here again in the States. They lost their distributorship, or I don't know what happened, but they stopped, distributing fragrances here, but I think they might be coming back. But I have gotten my nose on Paper Plane, and I really approve of it. If you like molecular, musky fragrances, clean, ethereal, airy, kind of musky, spicy, paper-like fragrances, you're definitely going to like Paper Plane. Anybody that's into things like not a perfume, although this has more substance, you know, things like ISOE super fragrances like Eccentric Molecules, or, you know, even their sister company, Jusbox's fragrance that Dominique Mulhausen created. What was it called? Cheeky Smile. If you like that fragrance, some things like that, you're probably going to like Paper Plane. It has notes of cotton flower, oak moss, paper, vetiver, pepper, incense, sage, musk, cypriol, and amber. Really my kind of fragrance when I want something on and I don't want a lot of substance with it. This is really great. I like its quality. I like its sexy muskiness. And, you know, Another 13 is another fragrance that comes to mind with Paper Plane. So those of you that are fans of it, you must get your nose on Paper Plane. Stay tuned for a review of that soon on the channel. And speaking of their sister house, Jusbox, there's a fragrance called Carioca Heart, another one that's really great from this house, created by Julien Rascanet. This is a fruity, ambery fragrance featuring lemons, sandalwood, and peony, but I think there's definitely fruits in there. These are the only notes I found online listed because they haven't added the fragrance on the brand's website yet. I think they're definitely launching very soon, but I got my nose on it at one of the perfume shows I attended, and I really liked it. And I also smelled some people wearing it. It had a really great trail. So big fan of Julien Rascanet's fragrances, and this one's definitely another great fragrance that he's created. Now, it didn't list any oud or something, but there's definitely something oudy, kind of Middle Eastern-esque there in this fragrance. That's what I liked about it. We are focusing on a music themed brand, and they're focusing on bossa nova music from Brazil, so that's what Carioca Heart is all about. I really think this is going to be a hit. I think it's great. It smells great on people. Left a great trail. I kept smelling people wearing it, so I really enjoyed it. So definitely I think it's going to be popular. Moving on to Diaz and Durga, they have probably a limited edition fragrance called Salem Gothic, created by David Seth Moles. I think he's one of the founders or owners of the brand. So Salem Gothic, I'm cautious about it because it has marine notes, but I'm curious about it because I like the idea of a Halloween-themed fragrance, featuring notes of violet leaves, sea notes, lichen, calla lily, yarrow, sandalwood, amber, and spices. So I like a lot of their fragrances. I do. I'm starting to really dig into this house, but they do crank out a lot of limited edition fragrances. It kind of keeps me confused or a bit overwhelmed from the fragrances that they launch. So if they kind of slow down a bit and not released a lot of fragrances, I would, embrace the brand a little more. But when a brand constantly cranks out fragrances, and even though these are limited edition, it just kind of gets overwhelming. But who's a fan of Dias and Durga? Let me know. Are you curious to try Salem Gothic? Does it sound great to you? Do put a comment down below so I can find out. All right, so Francesca Bianchi has a new fragrance called Encounters. Definitely a fan of this house, and I'd like to find out what she's done with Encounters. We've got notes of oud, sandalwood, iris butter, cedarwood, orange, lavender, angelica, ambergris, castoreum, benzoin, Peru balsam, rose, cinnamon, bergamot, cassis, coriander. So Francesca Bianchi fragrances are uber complex, and also definitely lots of leather comes in, iris comes in, or iris butter comes in, and then also castoreum appears a lot in her fragrances. And there's definitely a very textural experience with Francesca Bianchi fragrances. Dense, kind of ambery, resinous experience with them. And this one seems like it's definitely going in that direction, but it has oud. I don't know if I've seen oud in any of her fragrances. Probably here and there, but I'm curious to smell Encounters. If you've tried it, do let me know. Put a comment down below. But moving on to Louis Vuitton in their extracts collection, Myriad. I never got any of their other extracts collection fragrances. I do have every single other fragrance of the house, but Myriad sounds really nice, and I'm definitely intrigued to go smell it at the Louis Vuitton boutique. Also, it sounds like a previous fragrance of theirs called Atropé Rêves. At least some of the notes remind me of it, but this Myriad has notes of Assam oud, Bulgarian rose, grass rose, saffron, cacao, ambrette, white musk. Definitely sounds really interesting. Oud and rose, it's a been there, done that kind of a notes combo. But I do like Jacques Cavalier and what he does with fragrances, so I'm really curious about it. So next, moving on to Unique Luxury, they have a new fragrance called Zengi, and I got to smell this at one of the shows I was at while I was in Europe. This is created by a perfumer by the name of Gohnan Simsek. I hope I'm saying his name right. I don't know if I've never seen this perfumer before, but the fragrance did smell great. I've smelled it and I approve of it, and I want to kind of experience it more by wearing it rather than just smelling it in passing. But red wine, vanilla, patchouli, frankincense, bergamot, cedar, amber, grapefruit, pink pepper, and vetiver. Really great fragrance. Really want to dig into that fragrance further and some of their other more recent releases. If you're a fan of Unique Luxury, do let me know. Put a comment down below. But moving on to Montale, they have a new fragrance called Holy Neroli, but I could have sworn another brand had used that name, Holy Neroli. Is it true? I can't remember. But this fragrance is created by Pierre Montale, featuring notes of neroli, patchouli, spices, vanilla, white musk. I love the name. I like the color of the bottle. I love neroli, so definitely got to get my nose on Holy Neroli. But do let me know if you've put your nose on this one, because I'm really excited about this one. Definitely want to get my nose on it. So Imaginary Authors is relaunching a whiff of waffle cone. So there's a 2023 edition of it, and I have a feeling a whiff of waffle cone that came out during the pandemic was in collaboration with an ice cream shop chain, Salt and Straw, I think that's what they were called. So this is the 2023 edition, and now it's in the regular collection of Imaginary Authors fragrances, and it's become one of my favorites from the house. So have they redone the smell? I don't know. Have they reformulated it? I don't know. We shall see. I'd like to get my nose on it. But also, a whiff of waffle cone in 2020 was priced at $65, and I think because it was selling at the ice cream shop, had that special price. Most likely that arrangement is done. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking that's what's going on. And this has gone into the regular collection, so it's gone to the price of the actual fragrance collection, because their fragrances are now $105. They used to be $95. And a whiff of waffle cone I've purchased myself for $65, so it's gone up about $40. But I really love this one. It's a great gourmand that's perfectly fitting of Imaginary Authors style of fragrances. It has cream, orgeat, salted caramel, sandalwood, vanilla, and cinnamon. So it's a great gourmand. It's a very woody gourmand, but definitely smells creamy, vanillic, spicy, and caramelly. So we've got Rammstein again. We've got a fragrance from them called Benzin. I like the bottle. They're always doing some unique things with their packaging and bottles. And stay tuned for a haul video very soon. I'm going to report on some fragrances that I finally got from Rammstein. But Rammstein Benzin, is it benzene or benzin? It sounds like benzene with gasoline or something. But either way, once again, it's created by Alexander Ilan from Simrise. And this one features notes of smoky notes, cognac, rum, nutty notes, leather, castoreum, vetiver, amber, musk, gaiac wood, birch, and frankincense. Really, really enjoy the fragrances of this house. They're inexpensive, really out there, kind of risque names and things like that, and also risque notes. So I'm curious to get my nose on this one. If you're living in Germany, these are probably sold for 40-50 euros. Really great price, and they're always like limited too, so they sell out and they move on to the next fragrance. And so it's hard to get them, but you know, some people find them, and throughout Europe you might be able to find these at discounted prices as well, even though they're really inexpensive when they're launched. So if you've gotten your nose on benzene or benzene, let me know. Put a comment down, and if you're a fan of Rammstein, also do let me know. I think I might do an updated video on my Rammstein fragrances because I have obtained several others now, and I did one a couple of years ago or a year or so ago that highlighted some of their fragrances. But do let me know if you're a fan of the house. It's a band, by the way. So are these celebrity fragrances? They're definitely really great celebrity fragrances if they're considered celebrity fragrances. But moving on to Maison Violet, they have launching their second cycle fragrance, and it's Cycle 002. This time, once again, it's created by Nathalie Lorson, who have created a lot of their fragrances, but the previous Cycle 001 is created by another younger perfumer that has created fragrances for brands like Jacques Fat and Theo Cabanel is the brand I'm trying to think of. But Cycle 002, created by Nathalie Lorson, incense, gaiac wood, labdanum, cedar, black pepper, cloves, elemi, cumin, chili pepper, citruses like bitter orange, bergamot, lemons, and mandarin. So this one seems a lot more complex than the previous cycle fragrance, whereas the previous cycle fragrance ran out, like it was limited edition, which is the same thing with Cycle 002. I believe it's going to be limited edition, and once they sell out, they sell out. They do sell refills for folks that do have the actual fragrance, but once they sell out the bottles, they sell out. So I don't know if it's going to be 1,000 or 2,000. We shall see, but I'm curious to get my nose on this one. But moving on to the House of Attar collection, it's Fleur de Santal, created by Gael Montero. I actually really enjoy this perfumer's creation, so I'm curious to get my nose on Fleur de Santal. It features notes of sandalwood, musk, milk, pear, ylang-ylang, iris, mimosa, argan, pepper, Angelica. Who's a fan of this house? I have done some videos on their fragrances here and there and featured their fragrances in various videos, and Fleur de Santal sounds really, really great. I like the idea of combining milk with sandalwood, so it makes for more of a lactonic, creamy, milky sandalwood experience, and the addition of pears kind of sounds really intriguing because the way sandalwood and milk smell together definitely doesn't have a lot of substance. It has the density of the woods, but it doesn't have like a really intense smell. So I feel like the pear would really complement this combo of notes. So we shall see how it is, but I'm looking forward to Fleur de Santal by Attar Collection. So a brand I've not spoken much about, but it's Versatile Paris, and it's not the kind of fragrances I enjoy because they're rollerball fragrances or roll-on fragrances. I'm a sprayer, I love spraying, but I got to smell this and I really, really enjoyed the smell. And since the brand is sold here in San Francisco at Ministry of Scent, I wanted to highlight this fragrance. It's called God Bless Cola, and I got to smell this during one of the shows I attended while I was in Europe. And it smelled like Coca-Cola, which I really, really like. It's a great gourmand. The only thing I don't like about it is the fact that it's a roll-on and rollerball, and I don't like these kind of fragrances much because they're very close to the skin. They don't have a lot of projection, and spraying fragrances do have projection or creates projection, but this smells really, really great, so I'm highlighting it. It's featuring, well, actually, it's created by Elia Chiche and Camille Chamardin, featuring notes of sparkling cola, grilled popcorn, caramel, peanut butter, soft woods, sweet gourmand notes, and vanilla. Very, very yum. It does smell like Coca-Cola, and then it turns into a gourmand. A very delicious fragrance. And the last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is from the House of Fragrance du Bois. It's Voyage à Paris. I think that's how you say it, or Voyage à Paris, if you want to say it in English. But it's rum, orange blossom, tagette, jasmine, honey, davana, oud, vanilla, oak fusion. It seems like a gourmand, a boozy gourmand. I don't see that the brand is doing a lot more, like a lot of oudy fragrances. This one does have oud listed, but I feel like the oud's going to be a bit subdued, or like in there to kind of like just to give it a bit of a beefiness against all the gourmandish notes. But I'm curious to smell this fragrance. I am very, very interested in it. So Voyage à Paris by the House of Fragrance du Bois is the last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about today. But do let me know your thoughts on these fragrances. Are you excited for them? Are you hating all the new releases? To put a comment down below so I can find out. Let me know if there are any other fragrances that you've heard about that are coming soon that are worth highlighting here on the channel. Put a comment down about that as well. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. So real quickly, there are 4 new fragrances from Zara that I actually got to smell, and I really enjoyed one of them. 4 fragrances, I believe, by Firmenich perfumers, because they're in the dark bottles. Dark bottles are Firmenich, and then the lighter colored bottles are Givaudan. And the one I really liked from this collection, I smelled them really, really quickly at Zara, is Antique Brown, created by Honorine Blanc. It's vanilla, coconut, water, pralines, apples, honey, amber, rum, tobacco, and bergamot. Sounds really, really great. It smelled delicious. The rest of them I smelled quickly. They didn't really do much for me, but I'd like to circle back and try them again. But Unexplored Noir is by Marion Costero. Cashmeran, pine tar, caramel, sandalwood, patchouli, cardamom, pink pepper. Again, I want to circle back and see if it's really, really great, because in passing it didn't really jump out at me. Absolutely Dark is also by Marion Costero. It's amber, cashmere, citruses, iris, marine notes, moss, sandalwood, woods. This one I know wasn't that special. Again, in passing it was not that special, but maybe it might be better, you know, wearing it and things like that. And last but not least, this one I really want to circle back to, because on paper it sounds really, really great, but I can't remember much of how it smelled because I did it really, really quickly. Nostalgia Blue, created by Elias Hermanides. It's patchouli, cardamom, ambroxan, geranium, vanilla, saffron, leather, and lavender. Anyway, if you've gotten your nose on these, do let me know. Do you want me to review these? I know some of you hate Zara. Some of you love Zara. Some of you hate it when I review Zara. Some of you love it when I review Zara. So I can't decide. If you want me to review it, let me know. Put a comment down. I'll take a inventory and see if I want to get my nose on these and buy the bottles and review them again. Anyway, thanks so much for watching today. Have a good one. Goodbye.